Many vanguard theorists think that the disturbing breach in the field of quantum physics and relativity could explain historically arced phenomena in the scientific field, like those in which the mind doesn't seem to be associated to the brain, such as near-death experiences, remote vision, and precognition. In whatever case, Plato's allergy of the cave would seem to be the most rational option now for explaining these vivid daily experiences that our brains interpret as being real appearances of the world. Mr. P, an 80-year-old Polish emigre and former engineer, knew he had memory problems, but it has his wife who described it as a permanent sense of deja vu. He refused to watch TV or read a newspaper as he claimed to have seen everything before. When he went out walking, he said the same birds sang in the same trees and the same cars drove past at the same tree every day. His doctor said he should see a memory specialist, but Mr. P refused. He was convinced that he had already been. Deja vu can happen to anyone, and anyone who had it will recognize the descriptions immediately. It is more than just a sense that you have seen or done something before. It is starting it is startling, inappropriate, or often disturbing sense that history is repeating and impossibly so. You cannot place whether you cannot place where the earlier encounter happened, and it can feel like a premonition or a dream. Subjective, strange, and fleeting, not to mention tainted by paranormal explanation, the phenomenon has been a difficult and unpopular one to study. Now that is changing, spurred in part by Mr. P and a handful of people who, like him, have dementia and experience continuous deja vu, and also by the discovery that there is a group of people with epilepsy who have deja, deja vu like auras from a seizure. They are making it possible for researchers to catch the process in action, bringing hope that the secrets of this strange and disturbing phenomenon could finally be unlocked. Surprisingly, not only is deja vu proving an interesting window on the peculiar ways that our memory works, it is also providing a few clues about how we tell the differences between what is real, imagined, dreamed, and remembered, one of the true mysteries of consciousness. Speculations about past lives or telepathy aside, the first biological explanation of deja vu were based on ideas that two sensory signals in the brain, perhaps one from each eye or each hemisphere of the brain, for some reason moves out of sync so that people have the experience of reliving the same event. Mental diplopia, as it is called, is intuitively appealing, but the evidence is stacked against it. Information from the two eyes mixes very early in the visual processing, long before we perceive a scene. What's more, deja vu, rather ironically, as the term means already seen, can occur in blind people. According to Chris Molin, a psychologist at the University of Leeds, UK, Then there are the cases of the people who have had their two cortical hemispheres surgically separated in an attempt to relieve intractable epilepsy. If the mental diplopia idea was correct, you would expect them to have permanent deja vu. Yet there are no reports of this happening. A second intuitive explanation is sort of some distortion in time perception. Somehow, incoming signal must be misinterpreted and labeled with an inappropriate timestamp, making the experience seem as old as the current. If the brain's memory system is like a tape recorder, it is as if the recording head has got muddled with the playback head. It is an interesting analogy, but it does not appear to have any anatomical basis in the brain. Now, another theory is gaining credi- credibility. Perhaps deja vu feels like reliving a past experience because we actually are, at least to some extent. Psychology, Psychologist Anne Clary of Colorado State in Fort Collins came to this idea via an interest in memory problem. Keen to explain instances such as when something seems to be on the tip of the tongue or when we recognize a face but we cannot place it. She started looking for parallels with deja vu. One particular theory of deja vu is that it may be a memory process. She says features of a new situation may be familiar with some prior situation. He first experiments Her first experiment seems to support this. In one, she was able to induce familiarity for images for celebrity faces or well-known places even if the viewer could not place the image simply by first representing subjects with lists of their names. In another study, volunteers reported familiarity with words that sounded similar to one presented in an earliest list. Nevertheless, Cleary acknowledges that this cannot be the whole story. Deja vu is unique in that it is not just another instance of familiarity, it actually feels wrong. She says, how to account for this? One possibility is that deja vu is based on a memory fragment that comes from something more substantive, such as similarity between configuration and layout of two scenes. Say so, you are in the living room of a friend's new house with the eerie feeling that you have been there before, yet knowing you can't possibly. It could be just that the arrangements of furniture is similar to what you have seen before, suggests clearly so the senses of familiarity feels misplaced. To test the idea, a team produced a large range of images showing scenes such as bar, a bowling alley, landscapes, or rooms from a house. Volunteers chose a subset of these. Then they were tested on a new set, half of which were entirely novel and the other half resembling scenes from the first set in structures and configuration but not content. Not only did the similar layout produce familiarity without recall, subjects also reported a sense of inexplicable having been told all the scenes were different. Although the familiar, familiarity idea appealed to many, Maulin for one is not convinced. His skepticism stems from a study of a person with epilepsy that he conducted with Akira O'Connor, now at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. This 39-year-old man's aura of deja vu were long lasting enough to conduct experiments during them. The researchers reasoned that if familiarity is at the root of the deja vu, they should be able to stop the experience in its track by distracting the man's attention away from whatever scene he was looking at. However, when he looked away or focused on something different, his deja vu did not dissipate and would follow his line of vision and his hearing, suggesting that real familiarity is not the key. The fact that epilepsy aura can cause deja vu at all suggests that it is erroneous activism in a particular part of the brain that leads to misplaced feeling of familiarity, suggests Maulin. Hyponetical dissociation. But how? Mollin and Kona think deja vu is the consequence of a dissociation between familiarity and recall. We know that we can have sense of familiarity for a face or name without actually remembering where we know it from. Using hypnosis, O'Connor, Moulin and Moulin have been able to create a more mysterious sense of familiarity that leads people to draw parallels with deja vu. One group of people was given a puzzle to solve. Then, while, other, while under hypnosis, they were told they would be given the puzzle again but would not recall it. Another group did not do the puzzle, but they were told under hypnosis that they would be given it later and that they would experience feelings of familiarity but not understand why. Both situations produced a sense of eerie familiarity with some people linked to deja vu. Maulin and Connor hope that their ability to induce a deja vu like state in the lab will help them probe the phenomenon. They also believe these experiments support the idea that familiarity and recall are dissociable and that they can have a sense of familiarity without actually having any prior experience of something. Studies of the brain also support the idea that separate circuit mediate recollection and familiarity, according to the John Egleton and Malcolm Brown of Cardiff University, UK, who have recently reviewed brain imaging and animal studies. They point out that different parts of the middle temporal lobe at the side of the brain are responsible for different aspects of memory recall. The curved tube like hippocampus which runs through the center of the lobe mediates recollection, particularly for autobiological memories. Meanwhile, the studies show that the surrounding parahippocampus, particularly the peripheral cortex, may provide the feelings of familiarity. This fits well with the evidence from brain scans of Mr. P and others like him who saw huge degeneration of neurons in the medial temporal lobe and the fact that it is epilepsy originating in the medial temporal lobe that leads to deja vu auras.